just works.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm not going to get my hopes up, though. Because anytime I'm excited about something, life just takes a shit on my chest. And I can smell it, because it's right underneath my nose. It's, like, strategically placed. Like, life was like, oh, double fuck you! Right on your chest, you bastard!
I hear people saying no, not working.
No, not working? On YouTube? YouTube is all fed up again.
I don't know. I can't
Maybe
tell.
we've been banned.
They banned us from YouTube? That would suck.
Maybe. Maybe YouTube just hates us. Google. All those fuckers.
Wrong email account.
What?
I'm trying to pull up your link to your YouTube, but you emailed it to me, and here it is. All right.
Yeah.
Live stream is starting soon. It says. Yeah, I don't think it's actually working.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
And it says it's
It
streaming.
says it's streaming.
Word.
Yeah. But hey,
Let
according
me-
to this, we have 742 viewers on Twitch, so
What?
I'm super happy there.
I'm cool with that. All right, sweet.
Let's just screw YouTube.
Yeah, screw it. I feel bad though because they're all like, "Hey, we came to see you on YouTube and we're waiting for you." Go to Twitch. I'm just gonna tell everyone.
I am too.
Hardware. YouTube
Right.
ain't working right now.
I am also.
Go to
alright, so
Twitch.
I'm stopping the YouTube broadcast.
All right,
And
do it. Good for nothing, YouTube. I hate you. Actually, YouTube, Google's. You ever think that like Google's kind of like your boss?
We're recording locally now, so
All right.
for the re-upload, this is the beginning.
Okay, sweet. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Awesome Hardware, episode 43. This is part B. You can catch part A on Paul's channel at Paul's Hardware. That's on YouTube. You can join us also every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. Or if you're watching us live on YouTube, which actually isn't happening because that's not... If you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, we do try to stream to YouTube simultaneously at that same time I just mentioned, but this week we're having some technical difficulties, so that's not going to happen.
This is just a bad idea.
What? Opening the beer? What?
The USB.
While the keychain USB is plugged in. Why would you do
I
that?
have to angle the beer.
Right above your laptop? Are we that gone?
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
Well, why can't you just unplug the USB
Because
and then use the...
it was there. It was plugged in. It didn't seem right.
It was just so convenient.
And I have a bottle opener on my own keychain.
Were you
so that
just
was
fucking around, or were you legitimately like, I could probably pull this off?
I was considering it. I was sort of weighing the
Testing the waters.
like, what's the worst that could happen? Oh, just destroy my laptop and the soundboard and electrocution and everything. So that's when I was like, this is a bad idea.
You just see you like
Trying to
running through all the thoughts while you're about to open. Like,
Trying
yeah. Okay, maybe I want to.
yeah, this is Stella Artois.
Stella Artois.
It's actually for our Christmas party.
I'm drinking a barrel-aged stout from Firestone. This is their limited release 19th anniversary ale. 19th anniversary ale. Really good stuff. It is tasty. All right, so let's move on to some announcements really quick. Let's get these out of the way. Paul and I are still selling shit. We spend so much time on announcements. We sell shit. Buy some shit. All right? I sell shirts, mostly. Actually, that's pretty much all I sell besides hoodies. Paul sells more than me. He sells shirts and hoodies and mugs.
Oh yeah, mugs.
And he sells mugs, and you should buy stuff. We have deals going on. I'm not going to tell you about them. Just go to the site, and you'll see what's there. Just use your eyes. And
You're getting mad at people.
I'm getting mad. I just want to get through this, all right? I'm going to have to... It's not streaming to YouTube. This stupid XSplit and YouTube bullshit. Buy some shit from us. We're awesome guys. And, yeah, send in those awesome hardware logos. We are going to choose one and plaster it on a t-shirt eventually. I know we've been slacking on that, but I have been receiving all of your guys' design logos. So if you have a good awesome hardware logo, which... For those of you not familiar, that's the name of our show, so make it in the spirit of our show.
I feel like you're being so mean to everyone.
No, I'm not being mean. I'm being real, It's Christmas.
Hey,
Fuck them.
cool.
No, yeah, go ahead and send those logo designs to awesomehardwarerules@gmail.com. Just how it sounds, awesomehardwarerules@gmail.com. And both Paul and I will be looking over your designs. We've been getting some really good ones lately, so keep sending them in. If we pick your logo design by chance, then you might get something cool later on from both me and Paul. But that's pretty much all. Also, I guess if I should probably mention this, I'm going to be doing a segment later on in this episode that revolves around you guys and what horrible Christmas stories that you have that you've had in the past. So if you want to share your horrible, worst Christmas ever story, go ahead and tweet me at ForeverAKyle. And at some point in the show, we're going to be taking a look at some of your responses just to see, because I think, we all love a good shit show. Yeah, so go ahead and tweet me. Let's move on to the news. Starting off with Samsung, and they're bound to produce, they're set to produce some Greenland GPUs for AMD.
Oh.
In Q2 of 2016. This was kind of plastered everywhere this morning when I woke up. So what's the deal here? Well, AMD signed a contract regarding the production and fabrication of Greenland GPUs. They signed that contract with Samsung to basically help them make some freaking chips and get that cash money. You know what I'm saying? That cash money in there, right? So AMD was initially thinking of sticking with their tried and true TSMC for the fabrication, but those guys were having issues with yield and instability of their supply. So AMD was like, "F that, we're going Samsung." So Samsung's now helping AMD out making these chips.
Maybe if TSMC could make full conductors instead of just semiconductors.
Yeah, right. I mean, talk about half-assing.
Come on, right?
Come on, guys. Yeah. All right. So now Korea Electronic Times has confirmed in a report that the fabrication of several AMD products, not just Greenland, but several different AMD items, will be a joint effort now by Global Foundries, which is it's a joint effort by AMD and what was formerly ATIC. They're now called something else. It's I don't know the name. Global Foundries and Samsung. Global Foundries, you can just assume, is pretty much AMD. And Samsung are now going to start manufacturing these GPUs starting early next year.
Look, Greenland.
It's
not very green.
It's the poster child for...
It's Greenland back before global warming.
That looks much faster than Kepler and Maxwell combined. So now that the contract has been finalized between Samsung and AMD, both companies have a deal where they're essentially sharing the technology that the other develops. They're kind of like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours type of thing, And that includes
tit for tat.
Tit for tat, twat for twat, including...
Penis for
schlong, including the IP for 14nm processing. So obviously Greenland falls under that since it is fabricated on the 14nm FinFET LPP process, which is low power plus.
Oh.
Low power plus process.
I was going to say penis.
Penis. I mean, hey, that was the deal. How much supply either party makes is heavily dependent on yield and other factors. And that's all going to be determined by AMD. How many GPUs Samsung makes versus AMD in-house is really going to depend on a bunch of stuff. And also...
Real quick.
Yeah.
I need to defend myself for drinking Stella.
Oh, God.
It's not terrible.
This is actually very important.
It's a macro brew for sure, but it's not terrible. Anyway, we got like 2 24-packs for a Christmas party. Okay, sorry.
It's like it's like you evolved from the trailer park drinking Natty Ice to like now you're in like a middle class home in the burbs, but you're still not like, in the hills. So you drink Stella.
You're right.
Yeah, that's like their.
Also, it makes you feel fancy if you say the name with like a really affected accent. Stella Artois. Stella Artois.
I like to drink a Stella
Artois. Sounds very French.
Never share your Stella Artois with a Frenchman because he's spitting it 1,000 times.
When I was in high school, we used to go around stellarizing people.
Stellarizing? Yes. So is that like icing? You
drive by them in the car and you yell, Stella! You yell that at the window. That's called stellarizing.
And you throw a Stella at them, like a bottle of Stella?
You could add that if you wanted to get arrested. Really mix up the evening. Anyway, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to go...
Super off topic there. But the more you know, right? The more you know. So 10... Here, okay, so that's all great. 14 nanometer, thanks for getting me off track, Paul. Son of a bitch. 14 nanometer FinFET shit is happening with AMD and Samsung. But get this, 10 nanometer fab process is going to hit 2017. So by the time your nuts finally drop, you'll get some 10 nanometer fabrication process in there.
Nice.
And and that's just fab. So let's move on to our next story, which is GameWorks VR 1.1 arrives with support for OpenGL, VR SLI support, and the Oculus SDK.
You sound like the train conductor at Disneyland.
That's what I was going for. Because he's awesome. I don't know, I just wanted to draw that really long title out because I think it's funny.
So the VR
It's a really bad headline. It's like a
VR
paragraph.
is implanted into your eyeball.
No, that's just a picture, Paul. It's abstract. It's not a one-to-one
this
replica.
Is the eyeball, and this is the data from
No.
the VR going in.
It's not even close to how. What?
That's how I want it to work.
I mean, that'd be cool. That's like someone getting LASIK done.
Plus, look how immaculate my lashes would be.
Those are pretty fab lashes.
Oh yeah.
Made on the 14 nanometer FinFET LPP process.
Very fine.
Made by Samsung.
Okay.
Okay. So what is going on here? Do you have a VR headset? Yes. Do you have a GeForce card? Yes. I don't know who I'm answering for because I don't have both of those. A new driver has been released for that has new OpenGL extensions that enable SLI support, essentially for OpenGL apps that run on Oculus or Vive. Actually, more than that. There's like a dozen. There's like a dozen other VR headsets that this driver supports. Essentially, you can basically now take advantage of NVIDIA SLI when you're rocking your VR headset.
Okay.
Which is cool. NVIDIA PR is claiming 1.7 times the performance, which isn't 2 times the performance, but when do you really ever get fully, 200% performance from SLI, from two-way SLI anyway?
Usually not.
Usually not. So 1.7, that's pretty fair. That's quite a bit more than you would with a single card. And this is going to be compatible with GeForce and Quadro cards. So not just gaming, but if you're doing like some workstation shit, maybe some medical shit. I'm getting really technical here with all of my shits. So the driver is also going to reduce CPU overhead when rendering images to both eyes, and that's just something, this is just something that you should know if you have those things. Just want to let you know. I'm just looking out for you guys, looking out for you VR GeForce fanboys, you fucking fanboys.
Good Lord.
God damn. Okay, I can't do it.
I'm really enjoying today's show.
Me too.
Just an aside.
It's Christmas.
So, and if you want an actual VR headset to go along with this, with the VR 1.1 GameWorks stuff,
Yeah.
we learned on my half of the show that they'll be coming out in 2016. The Oculus in Q1,
Right.
and HTC Vive in April.
Yeah.
So, good. I mean, I would expect NVIDIA to be kind of ahead of the game when it comes to working with these companies and getting set up for VR. I'm imagining they're going to be pushing their GPUs as, the solution for VR. And it's a really good selling point for high-powered graphics cards.
True.
Is the advent of VR. So there's going to be a lot of push back and forth between NVIDIA and AMD. GameWorks has... GameWorks kind of people go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of negativity about GameWorks because they're not always as open with the stuff that they're working on. Sometimes games launch that's a GameWorks game and like stuff on the AMD side of it like doesn't work as well as it should and that kind of stuff. So there's all that stuff still ongoing. But as mentioned, it's going to be an interesting year when it comes to the VR stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
At least you and I both have like high-end computers that can handle VR shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That's exciting.
I built Hotline mainly because I just wanted to see what custom water cooling was like, and I wanted that experience. But really, like, I haven't like realized its full potential. I mean, I played GTA 5 at 1440. And that's on a single display, which is like a walk in the park for Hotline. I'm sure you do similar shit with Arctic Panther. But now that there's like VR coming out early next year.
3440 by 1440.
Okay, what? I'm sorry. 21 by 9 Master Race. All right, all up in here.
It's a Predator X34.
But it'll be nice to actually give this guy a run for his money when VR shit comes out retail. So let's move on to the next one. 3DMark. 3DMark has created a VR benchmark called VRMark. Hey, that makes sense.
Why do they have these confusing names?
I know, it's just so doesn't make any sense.
No,
It's like a code.
More importantly, why doesn't someone from 3DMark go over to Intel and start naming all of their products?
Yeah, right? They could definitely take a page out of their book there over at FutureMark. But essentially, this is the first virtual reality benchmark that we've seen, at least to my knowledge. It comes with their FutureMark's latest holiday beta update. It's available in the 3D Mark Benchmark Suite come 2016. Now, you don't have to wait until next year to find out what it's all about, because VR Mark is actually, there's a preview of VR Mark. Can't say that right now. Of the test, the preview includes several familiar 3D Mark scenes. So I'm guessing like the scene from the regular 3D Mark test, like Firestrike and shit like that. So it includes a couple of those different environments where users can actually walk around and explore the area. So you could like be in a 3D Mark level, essentially. Now you can just experience it, and you can, whatever, look around, walk around, explore avenues that you haven't before in the synthetic benchmark that auto runs. But there isn't going to be any scoring in the preview, so you can actually physically benchmark your hardware.
How will I know if my computer is faster than all the other computers?
That's not going to come until after the preview with the full release of VR Mark. So you're going to have to wait on that, Paul. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
But that's okay. At least you can mess around with, while you're in the Firestrike world. You can maybe you could say hi to that evil demon-looking guy with the fire sword and, find out what he's so pissed off about. I don't know. You're a pretty mellow guy.
Why does he always attack the ice lady?
Yeah, what does she ever do to him? Maybe she's a bitch, though.
But she usually wins at the last second.
True. But maybe that's not a happy ending. Maybe you should find out. Do some, private investigation.
So...
what are we talking about?
Practically speaking here...
Yes.
Since one of the nice things you can do with 3D Mark, for instance, is run 3D Mark Ultra, even though you don't necessarily need a 4K monitor.
Right.
So you could get an idea of how your system might perform before upgrading and dropping the money on that.
Exactly.
So will you be able to run this VR benchmark in 3D Mark without necessarily having a VR headset?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a good question.
Didn't say.
Something the article should have pointed out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way to go, WCCF Tech.
Whoa! Shots fired. Shots fired.
No, thank you for writing this article.
Lower your rifles. Okay, but moving beyond the update itself, FutureMark's also continuing their work on their DirectX 12 benchmark, which is called Time Spy. Should be ready in time for Q1 of 2016. The GPU test is going to be focusing on targeting all the new features and technology of DirectX 12, obviously for video cards. Of the new API from Microsoft. It's actually going to feature a museum with a bunch of highly detailed objects or art pieces. So probably a lot of tessellation involved and anti-aliasing, things like that. But all geared towards the new Microsoft API.
Will there be artifacts there that belong in a museum?
Was that a pun? Was that a punny joke?
It was kind of an Indiana Jones reference, I guess.
Oh. Because I was thinking of actual artifacts on screen.
Oh, artifacts.
Yeah, I thought that was a good pun.
Oh, you're right. That was hilarious. I meant that's a good joke I made.
That was good, Paul. I was like, that was so sharp.
I love when jokes I make are funnier than I even realize.
So neither Paul or I are funny, but together we're hilarious.
Somehow
is what we've learned. We fused.
Here's the butthole. God, this is funny. Okay, sorry.
Here's the butthole. Here's the mouth. It's like Human Centipede up to this bitch.
We do need a 3D Mark needs to make a Paul Mark.
I agree.
Software.
I agree. Just tessellation of your beard, of the soul patch, or maybe yeah. And maybe a combination.
I didn't shave, so yeah, there'd be some extra. You need some hair works going on right now.
That's true. You need some hair works. You bust me up for the multi GPU setups. Can't render this shit without at least 2 Titan X's, bitch. All right, so getting back on task here. This Time Spy DirectX 12 test is going to be running at 2K or 1440, your choice, but it's going to be 5 times more demanding than the your standard Firestrike. That's not the Firestrike Ultra, but just the regular 1080 Firestrike. So 5 times more demanding, you're going to need a pretty formidable system with some decent GPUs in there, maybe 1 or 2 really high-end GPUs if you even want to get close to getting on that scoreboard, which a lot of us like to do. Because that's a great thing about 3D Mark. It's a lot of professional reviewers use it, but it's also really easy, intuitive for just gamers to use and compare their stats and scores to test out their systems and stuff like that. So, good things coming in the future for FutureMark. That's funny. I said FutureMark. But yeah, let's move on to the next story. Next gen Vulkan, soon to release.
Cool.
So Vulkan, speaking while we're on the topic of APIs, just briefly mentioning DirectX 12 there. Kronos Group is said to be releasing Vulkan API 1.0 very soon. They're not going to exactly meet their initial year-end target like they said they would, but it is going to be coming really soon. What's up? You still laughing?
I don't know what's wrong with me today. From earlier, you had this on your screen earlier.
Yeah.
And up until moments ago, I read this as ground up explicit API redesign. I was like, ground up like beef. They mashed the APIs up and combined them.
But I mean,
that's how you redesign an API. You take all the lines of code and you just kind of mash
it. It could have been like some clickbait shit, you know? They really tried to amp it up. Maybe it was a metaphor they were using.
Why didn't I see that it was like from the ground? Oh god.
You know, you had just finished eating Del Taco at the time.
It probably was it.
Your mind was focused on
you're right.
all the ground up beef.
It was the ground beef. But there was no ground beef in my Del Taco. I had chicken.
Maybe it's just a Freudian slip. You know, your mind was like, this chicken's good, but I haven't had some ground beef. Oh, ground up.
I could go for some delicious ground up, nicely seasoned APIs. Just kind of pack those up. Please continue, Kyle.
Yes, absolutely. So, Vulkan API 1.0 is coming really soon. It's the kind of unspoken successor to Mantle. They are pretty much using the same DNA. It's really aiming to compete with DirectX 12, Microsoft's new API, by reducing the overall overhead and optimizing multi-core and multi-threaded performance. It's going to be more versatile, according to the article, than DirectX 12, supporting Windows, Linux, SteamOS, and Android, whereas DirectX 12 only supports Windows operating system, which is pretty much what we're mostly on, but you do have that extra flexibility with Vulkan. It's also going to support cross-API intermediate language for parallel compute and graphics, which basically allows devs to write Vulkan script in their own programming language, which is kind of cool.
So they need to learn to speak Vulkan.
They need to speak Vulkan, and they'll need a what is it called? The Babelfish. They'll need a Babelfish for that. So that's kind of cool. Gives more flexibility for devs as well. If you're a developer, that's good. Several advantages over OpenGL that Vulkan has. Because remember, Kronos Group is also the developer of OpenGL. So it's going to be multi-core friendly, as I mentioned. It's going to have a multi-core friendly architecture with multiple command buffers that can be created in parallel. Also, explicit API has direct control over GPU operation, less dependent on the driver itself, which is going to offload some work there. And both AMD and NVIDIA are currently hard at work to enhance their graphics performance with Vulkan, because they know that it's going to be a strong contender against DirectX 12 as well for developers and consumers alike. What does this all mean? It means,
I don't know.
Overall, a better experience potentially for the user. So, competition's always good.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
So why don't we move on to our next segment here, moving right along. This is the experimental segment that I have. It's not experimental. It's the festive. I should say the festive holiday spirit. It smells like Christmas spirit. I didn't know what to call it.
I love your lower thirds.
And yes, that is Kurt Cobain in a Santa hat.
Hi, Kurt. You're kind of overrated, Kurt.
You're kind of overrated.
All right.
But it just fit the title there. So what is this segment? I don't know. It's a bunch of random Christmassy stuff. But I wanted to start it off with a throwback to an old school Newegg video that Paul and I and our good friend Joanne actually made over at Newegg TV when we all used to work there before we all went independent status on the YouTubes. But I thought this was a really fun, a really nostalgic thing to look back on.
You just want me to play it?
Go ahead and play it.
I don't know if people are going to be able... I just unmuted the system audio. I don't know if people are going to be able to hear this, so I hope you can. I hope it's not terribly loud.
Right. Let us know in chat.
Tech the halls. Oh, did you make that?
Yeah.
Tech withdrawals.
Tech withdrawals.
Oh yeah. Look how young you were.
Do I look younger there?
Yeah.
Really?
I probably do too. I don't know. No, I look the
You
same.
look the same because you're old.
'Cause I was
You just look the same all the time.
away in a socket. This was. I had a lot. Oh, you know what? I'm not even showing people any of this. This is terrible.
I'm thinking. All right.
All right, we're jumping back. Sorry, guys. I never switched over.
Low volume, louder. We can't see it.
Everyone's like, I can't see it.
Oh, they're saying we can see it.
They can see it? Now you should be able to see it. All right.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
They're saying the volume's low though,
I
so
turned,
maybe
I
turn.
turned it up a little bit.
Okay.
So maybe you guys can hear more now. AOL. I remember. Oh my god, it's AOL. So good.
My parents still use
My-
AOL. It's
My
sad.
favorite one, my favorite fake Christmas song name that I came up with for the scrolling ones here is the Snot-Nosed Larper. Where was it?
Where?
Maybe it's maybe there's more.
That's
than
not
three.
nose larper. Look at that.
No.
Look at that epic. Marshmallow scene. I think I was just like, no, we gotta feed him to each other.
Clean installs. Here comes Santa Claus. Grandma got run over by a bulldozer.
Little Saint Tick Ivy Bridge remix. That's so genius.
Silent Fan. Oh yeah, this one.
You have to be like such a nerd to get these. Little Saint Tick Ivy Bridge
This
remix.
That one
Little
right
town
there.
of Little Town of Nahum.
Little Town of Nahum.
Nahum.
Anybody? Okay.
Santa's looking trim. Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was
These
fun
are the
to
good
do.
old days of Newegg.
And that creepy Santa Claus. You remember this creepy Santa Claus?
Oh yeah.
This creepy Santa Claus hung out there for like, it kept being there and like it would look at you.
We finally found. Look at its crazy eyes. It just came that way. It was like crazy rapey Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Set him on up, little girl.
And he's
Like he
like-
might as well have said that when you pressed his belly.
Yeah.
And then remember this part? If you call now in the first 10 minutes, you get a lock of Joanne's hair free.
Oh yeah.
We got super creepy with it.
It was a little creepy. It's fun.
And then limited supply while supplies last. If you didn't get a lock of Joanne's hair, you might get a lock of Paul's hair, which may or may not be from his scalp.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
Open to interpretation.
That's probably what's being said right now. is
Yes.
all
Yes.
the- Okay.
So,
Why is-
yeah,
why is that
just
an
a quick
extra 30
throwback.
seconds on the
Outtakes.
There's outtakes
I'll let
at
them
the
see
end.
that if they want.
Alright.
But just wanted to do a little throwback, given the holiday spirit and y'all. But what this segment is really about here is to share your stories of the worst Christmas ever. This is a bit of an open forum that we're having today. And I was curious to hear your guys' stories about a ruined Christmas that's just been, tainted forever. Maybe it's a famous story in your family of how Christmas was ruined one year. Whether it's, the house got robbed. You guys got robbed on Christmas, or someone forgot all the presents. I don't know what it is, but we've got a bunch of tweets here that we'd like to share with you.
Cell tweeted a picture of his NES
So
original. OG NES.
So he said, won't say the worst Christmas, but definitely one of the better things that he got. That's actually pretty cool. An old school NES.
I will say I 100% have an exact same memory
Yeah.
of opening a Nintendo on Christmas.
Nice.
I don't know what year it was. I feel like it might have been 88, 89.
It had to have been, yeah. That was
right
only
in
a
there
couple of
somewhere.
years after.
Yeah, and got the
Or that was the year, I think. It was 88 or 89.
NES for Christmas. That was fabulous.
Right.
Razorblader123 says, worst Christmas was when my dad was too lazy to go to wrap or even give me the presents he bought me. I had to go search for them.
So basically, your dad hid the presents around, or basically had them in your house, and you wake up Christmas morning, where are my presents? Oh, they're somewhere.
That's actually a really good idea. Like,
Make your kids find them.
I've bought the presents already. I brought them inside. Wherever they are, just go find them.
No, your dad's not a dick. He's a genius.
Yeah.
Because that saves you so much money and time on wrapping paper, which
And
is a
it's-
pain in the ass.
It's like a fun game, you know?
It's a
go
fun
find
game.
the presents.
It's a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Your dad did you a solid there, Razorblader. And I think that's probably the best Christmas.
As long as Razorblader isn't like what his dad bought him for Christmas. Because then if you were like searching for those and they're razor blades, you might cut yourself. Okay.
They were razor blades. He hit him on the floor. Yeah.
Alright.
Ganja Man? Oh, no. Yeah, Ganja Man.
He's got a two-parter.
Right. So one year my mom got a kitten for Christmas. Nice. Somehow it got on the counter, walked to the stove, and peed down the vent. Okay, continued. The smell of cat pee is bad, but when it gets into a hot stove, it's chem warfare against the Geneva Convention.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be the most strategic place for a cat to pee, unless he was trying to destroy all of your... That's the thing about cats, is that they will destroy everything you love, including one of your senses. You will never be able to smell right again. Like, your whole house is just screwed. That's why you don't get cats.
So everyone adopt a kitten this Christmas.
Nope. Don't
No.
do a cat.
Or
I
none of those things.
hate the cats.
Harry Prager says, I celebrate Hanukkah and my cat burned herself on the menorah. That's a good cat story.
That is a good cat story.
Cat's like walking along there trying to be all like stealth and cool,
Right.
and like how cats walk, and suddenly it's just like ball of fire from the menorah.
But you know what your cat was doing when it got burned? It was on the way to pee in your stove.
It probably was.
It was about to pee in your stove. That Christmas was saved by your Hanukkah menorah. You luck Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
By far. Okay, so Tyler Rage. Oh yeah, what's up, Rage? Last year my ankle/fibula was broken and was repeatedly kicked by my younger cousin while handing out presents to family. Rest in peace.
It's like, here's a present, kick. Like, here's a present. Just every present that's handed out, he has to try
I
to
hope
give
your
a kick.
family got you like a cast or a brace for Christmas. Or if they just grounded your cousin, that would have been good.
That is
I would have been happy with that. And then finally we've got Mike. Mike the Manic Geek. 1 year for Christmas, I got all car stuff for a car I didn't own.
Oh.
Huh. Folks thought I'd be able to buy one with my no job.
I've done
Have you ever had anything like that?
I can't say this has happened to me, but I know I've had family members it's happened to before where they make a list. It's like, I want this thing, and then I want these accessories for that thing, and everyone buys all the accessories, but not the thing that was asked for. Like,
right, because the thing was probably more expensive than the accessories.
That's where all the money comes from. So,
Dick family, and parents.
NZXT, you
I think
favorited NZXT's tweet about.
I think that's the end of our
NZXT
entries.
with a terrible Christmas story. Forever Kyle give his PC an Epic LED makeover with the
but
no,
yeah,
thanks.
it doesn't look nice in the background there.
It
Paul's fat body is
Blocking
covering
it.
it, but I got the candlelight effect on, and it's kind of burning along with the Netflix fireplace that I got back here, which is done by Fred Rogers. I forget who.
It looks like it's running hot.
It is running.
Although
It
it's
is running
not.
a bit hot. I might need to water cool it. But yeah,
All right.
thank you guys for sending that over.
Of course.
And I think that's pretty much gonna wrap it up.
I just said of course as if like saying no problem, Kyle.
Yeah, anytime.
I don't know why.
No, you did good. You
Okay, good.
scrolled through the Twitch feed.
I did.
Or the Twitter feed
I
very
scrolled
well.
all up in there.
So why don't we move on to the games report? Thank you guys for sending those in. Let's move on to the games report where we're talking about video games and stuff like that. This is the first article. Well, actually, all these articles are from PC Gamer because I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to PC Gamer. I'm not even gonna look. I'm not gonna scour the internet for the show. Come on, that's a waste of time. Who cares? I don't care. All right.
Yeah, as long as you're upfront about it.
Yep. So the first article is basically how to celebrate the holidays on PC.
Oh, good.
Obviously, we're talking about games here, so PC Gamers compiled a list, a very nice list, actually. I read through all of them. I surprisingly read the article I'm about to talk about. And there's a lot of different games and developers right now that are really trying to bring home the holidays to the end user by amping up their game with a little bit Christmas cheer. So starting off with GTA 5, I'm not going to talk about all these because that'll take forever, but the two notable ones that I found was GTA 5 has their new festive surprise, which I really want to check out. I haven't checked this out since it happened, but it sounds like a blast because their festive surprise, which runs until January 5th, includes a bunch of cool stuff like Santa outfits. Who doesn't want to run around, blowing up shit in a Santa outfit?
I do.
Elf and gingerbread man masks. New masks are always cool. I would go for the gingerbread one. Holiday pajamas. Come on, look at how adorable those holiday pajamas with the little red ski mask there. There's even like a bad Santa outfit, which is awesome.
I kind of like the gingerbread person here. Like,
Yeah, totally rocking the gingerbread mask.
If you like, I know this is game graphics, but if you saw someone wearing this exact thing with that mask on, walking towards you with a gun,
Wouldn't you be
how scary would that be?
fucking
That'd
scared?
be really scary. I'd be much more scared of this than like the creepy looking Santa mask thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you know what that reminds me of though? is I was watching a documentary on the devs that made Hotline Miami. It's just two guys.
Okay.
And they're like, how'd you like think of the artwork and like the characters? Because they're all like, you wear a bunch of different animal masks and shit when you're killing people. It's like, well, I was just thinking of like the most terrifying thing. Like if you're walking down a dark alley and then it's like they're Swedish or whatever, I'm not talking their Swedish accents. If you're walking down a dark alley, like what's the scariest fucking thing you could think of? It's like a dude like wearing a big chicken head. Like, that was, like, what freaked him out. Like, I don't know if it was some shit in childhood that happened to him, like he got molested by a chicken, but it's like, yeah, a dude wearing a big fucking chicken mask and, like, carrying a bat. Like, that would,
no, they're right. That would be
freak
scary.
me out. That would freak me out.
I think your accent there was a little bit more New York than
That was a bit New York and New Yorkian.
Yeah.
Swedish. Yeah, I don't know. Beer's good. But, okay, yeah, so that's going on in GTA 5. Another game that you can check out if you're trying to get into the holidays is PlanetSide 2. They've got their Snowman Invasion all up and running. You basically get XP for each Frosty that you annihilate, which is always cool. So there's basically like just an army of snowmen that, kind of like zombies or whatever. They just try to attack you. You have to watch out for loot-granting snowmen. You can actually get some good loot from some of these guys.
Nice.
Some of the legendary snowmen. Also, C4 and ammo boxes look like presents. That's very festive indeed. And there's also holiday hats and a snowball gun that you can get in the depot.
Ammo boxes always look like presents to me.
Yeah, they do. They are always a gift to fellow gamers everywhere. So you can go ahead and check out that full article on PC Gamer if you want to get the full scoop on which games are celebrating the holidays in their own fun, quirky way. But let's move on to the next article, which is a bit more serious and lawsuity. A man sues Bethesda over Fallout 4 addiction. I saw this and I had to talk about it because it's so ridiculous. According to a report...
You just said it was serious.
Yeah, seriously ridiculous.
Seriously ridiculous.
Yeah, of course.
Just clarifying that.
Of course. According to a report on RT.com, an unnamed Russian man is filing a lawsuit against the developer for not warning him that playing the game could be hazardous to his health. Shame on you, Bethesda, for not putting a disclaimer on the back of every copy of Fallout 4 sold, or some kind of pop-up alert when I install the game that this game could destroy your life, because that's clearly what this guy's saying.
And I have to agree here. I'm really tired of video game developers not telling me that their game is going to be entertaining. I'm expecting games that will be boring and that I will want to stop playing within at least 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Beyond that, who knows what could happen?
I think developers would make a lot more money if they just made their games uninteresting and boring.
Yep. That way people could just buy them.
Play them for a few minutes.
Maybe even not. You don't even have to play them anymore.
Yeah.
Think how convenient that is. Just buy the game, be like, oh, did you play Fallout 5? Be like, well, I bought it. Be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And that's all. And
then after I was sick of the game, I would sue Steam for not letting me resell it to someone.
Right. See?
Because that's bullshit.
But hey, that's why we're here telling you guys how it's going to go in the new wave of PC gaming.
That's right.
When all of us join together.
We are the revolution.
Yes.
So what is this guy saying? The report says that it's a 20-year-old guy. He's not a man. I'm 27. I'm not a man. I'm a fucking dude. Whatever. So this dude, he's claiming that I'm a dude. You're not a boy, but you're not a man. You're a dude. So this 20-year-old dude, are you
talking about the age of consent?
Yeah. No. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Consent's just I'm not gonna get into it right now. All right, just leave me alone. This 28-year-old dude, he's claiming that his life fell apart after 3 straight weeks of being glued to the game after he installed it. Now, what does that entail? What do you mean your life fell apart? All right, give us some details. All right, well, he's claiming that he lost his job after skipping work to play. Clearly Bethesda's fault. He stopped hanging with friends. Dude, I stopped hanging with all my friends. What the fuck, Bethesda? Give the guy his friends back, the ones you clearly stole from him. Also, he neglected his wife until she left him. By the way, if your wife leaves you after 3 weeks of video game playing, it's not the video game's fault. It's probably the relationship. Or the girl, I don't know. And also, his health had significantly declined from not eating or sleeping. Because, Lord knows, when you're eating or sleeping, you're not leveling up in Fallout 4. And that's just, they should tell you that. Like, you cannot eat or sleep while playing this game. Clearly you can't, no one can multitask that, and it should have been stated up front by Bethesda that those two things cannot be done simultaneously. Clearly this guy, how would he know? How would he know, Paul?
Well, I
don't know.
I think the solution to this is really pretty simple. The answer is that Bethesda needs to just be a little bit more forward-thinking, and they need to sell these solutions to these problems along with the game. Like, for instance, he lost his job after skipping work to play. The game should come with, like, an autonomous robot that goes and does your job for you. He stopped hanging out with friends. The game should just come with, like, friends. You know, just like 3 dudes who show up and be like, hey, you want to play football out? And be like, sweet, you know, and then you got friends. Neglected wife. The game should also come with,
Virtual
like...
wife.
Sure, virtual
Sex
wife.
doll. It comes with a sex doll.
Sex doll, all right. You got that taken care of. And health decline from not eating or sleeping.
Comes with a doctor.
Yeah.
A doctor will visit you every week and give you a checkup.
And, like, sit there and, like, move,
IV,
move
like
your
vitamins.
limbs for you. Yeah, put that all in for you. And then I think Bethesda could really kind of get around, kind of nip this in the bud, solve that problem before it happens.
See, Paul should be a video game developer.
I should.
And a lawyer. And our president. For 20...
And apparently I should also
18.
move so people can see your computer.
What? Why?
Someone told me to move my fat head so they can see outline. I'm sorry.
Oh, move your big fat head. Is that what people are talking about right now?
I didn't mean to obfuscate Kyle's build for you.
We're
for
giving
so
you guys
long.
like pure entertainment, and all you're saying, move your fat head.
I know.
We're doing it wrong.
Hey.
We're doing it wrong. We need like a puppet show with like dicks.
We just need a 2-hour live stream of just showing your computer.
I know.
We'd get lots more views.
Candlelight.
All right.
With like sexy saxman music in the background. Okay, so he's seeking 500,000 rubles in compensation. Is that how you pronounce the Russian currency? Rubles? Rubles?
Rubles?
Rubles. Rubles. That's Mexican.
Rubles.
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 500,000 rubles. I mow your lawn for 20 rubles. No, it's rubles. You're right, Paul. But in Russian, that's like rubles.
Rubles.
Rubles. Rubles. Meat and potatoes and rubles.
Da, comrade.
Da. That is only about 7,000 USD. So, you know, it's not very bad for Bethesda. They can just find that shit in their couch.
So they settled out of court and paid him, right?
No. Not quite yet. But a legal service, Single Center for Protection, has agreed to represent the man in court because they're dumb. Or they like money.
Yeah.
You know. But that's, you know, don't do that. Don't sue a freaking... I don't even need to say anything. Let's move on to the next story.
Yeah.
Awesome! This last story for tonight is awesome! I mean, just look how fab this is, Paul.
This is the ultimate Gwent set for
This
Witcher 3.
is fab. So if you guys are diehard Witcher 3 fans, or even if you just played a little bit, like I have, I'm not a diehard Witcher 3 fan, but I have invested a few hours into it, and it's an awesome game. I did get a chance to play Gwent while I was playing Witcher 3, which is essentially a built-in mini-game. It's a mini card game within Witcher 3.
Okay.
That you can go into like a bar or a tavern in any village or whatever, and there's usually a guy that you can sit down with in the tavern and play this card game. And it's like a full-on, it's a really well-thought-out mini game within Witcher 3 that most people that, you know, just know about Witcher 3 but haven't played it don't really know about. So essentially this guy was really into Gwent. He loved Gwent probably more than the Witcher 3 itself. So his lovely girlfriend, Imgur user Waffle Guru, actually made this set for him.
I hope she made him some waffles, too.
Some waffles, steak and BJ is always nice. But hey, this is immaculate. If you're a Gwent fan or a Gwent player in Witcher 3, then you're definitely going to appreciate this. I've only played Gwent maybe a handful of times in Witcher 3, but it was a fun game. But this is extreme. It comes with 5 laminated decks with duplicate cards for effective deck building, a cotton canvas playing surface, full rules printed on magazine cover paper, which sounds really fancy, counter tokens and gems which come in their own little custom pouches, and it comes all packaged nicely in a beautiful wooden case that's just fab. Paul, it's just fab. But seriously, this is a piece of art, and
So, like, this is the... See...
fan made.
Why isn't
100%.
Why isn't this on one of your to fund or not to fund things? I guarantee
Because
there's
it's not kickstarted.
I know, but there's probably a bunch
Oh.
of people who, if this was a Kickstarter,
Oh yeah.
I'll make this and you
Right.
spend some money, and there's probably a
tons of
ton of
ideas.
people who would be into that.
Right.
I feel like we've gone over some crappy potential Kickstarter things, whereas something like this would, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Completely agree. I would probably fund this shit because this would make a good card game for like a 1-2 player thing.
I played in
Take my money, man.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They had games you could play. Did you do any of that? And
I never played Black Flag. I
liked Black
before,
Flag.
maybe.
Black Flag was fun.
That was the pirate one.
Yeah, there's
I
one
didn't play the
before
pirate
they made it all crappy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I like those little games within games.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel guilty when I go to play them in the game. I'm like, I should be playing the game, not this game.
But that is still part of the game
yeah.
somehow.
But then, yeah, it's weird.
What do I think? Yeah.
It's like, you ever just in GTA just go and sit down and start watching TV, and then suddenly you've been sitting there for 15 minutes, and then you're like, what am I doing?
Dude, the most fucked up moment I've ever had in GTA 5 was I think you might have been there, but you were doing something actually useful in game.
Okay.
And I was with, I think it was Strider and a couple other guys like Tech PC Gamer, and we were in my apartment.
Yeah.
And we had just finished like a heist, and like the three of us, we sat down on the couch. I took a bong rip, and we just turned on the TV and we're like watching TV and just tuning out and just and like someone else in chat who's not sitting down with us is like, hey, you guys want to do another heist? You guys down to do another heist? It sounds like Punk Poet. Maybe it was Punk Poets because of the stupid Australian accent. You guys want to do another heist? And like we're sitting there and we're like, no, man, I think I'm just gonna watch some TV. Like, I was equally lazy in the video game as I am in real life. And I was like, in that moment, I was super self-aware of, like, how pathetic was that moment? I just denied to play the video game to watch TV in the video game.
I'm sitting in my apartment, and I don't want to go out in a
I don't
video
want,
game.
I'm
while
introverted.
I'm also, yeah.
I'm introverted in the video game, too. I can't even escape in the game.
Kitty said, and Punk is watching right now.
Good!
He clearly picked up on that offensive thing you just said.
Hear everything, you non-beer drinking Aussie. What do they call Aussies? That's like that they hate to be called. I forget what it is.
Kiwis? No.
Is it Kiwis?
No. Well, they would
Am
be
I?
offended because that's that other island.
Kiwi. That's the
The one next to Australia.
That's the only time you can.
New Zealand.
New Zealand, right?
I know geography.
Totally. But no, I'm just kidding, Punk. I love you. But that's pretty much, I guess, all I wanted to say for this half of the show. So, Q&A?
Oh yeah, Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A. Let's move on to the last segment.
Yay.
Without taking too much more of your time, because I know it's so valuable, as is mine and Paul's, not really. But go ahead and ask us any question in chat right now, or on Twitter, at ForeverKyle, at Paul Hardware. Yeah, and we might answer it.
We'll try.
We'll try. I mean, I might not.
First question, live stream gaming tonight. I'll answer first.
Okay.
I will not be live stream gaming tonight, unfortunately. I was like scrambling today to get everything ready to even come over here for the show, and we're having family over to our house on Christmas on Friday.
Nice.
And I have so much stuff still to do.
It's
insane.
I never realized like how tall of an order that is. Like hosting Christmas.
Yeah,
it's such a big ordeal that I hate being an adult, but
yeah.
I can only imagine how much shit you have to get done. So that's completely understandable.
Well, but the bulk of the work has been my workspace out in the garage. I've been like remodeling and clearing stuff out. I've been doing a bunch of painting out there, and I just put up a bunch of shelves, and I needed to get all that stuff done so I could take all the stuff that was in the living room, piled there, taking up all this space, moved back out to the garage, and not feel like I was just moving it back out there to move it again later.
Right.
Anyway, so I finally pretty much done that today. So yeah, tomorrow and the next day I'm going to be cleaning and getting ready for stuff. I'm hopefully also going to make a video or two for this week. That would be nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm probably not going to be gaming after the show, but Kyle, were you thinking of it or no?
I'm 50-50 right now.
Kyle's on the fence.
Yeah, I'm totally on the fence. So Stay tuned. I'll follow my Twitter. I'll be posting whether or not I do. But if I do stream, it'll probably be GTA 5 because I wanna engage in a snowball fight with someone.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Wait, where'd that go? Monsieur Man something.
Drop some wisdom for us.
Says drop some random wisdom.
Oh, okay.
Random wisdom.
Okay, here's a Confucius quote. He who goes to bed with itchy butt, wake up with smelly finger.
Wise words.
And
I'll
dueling.
just give you my classic advice that I give everyone. Never speak in absolutes.
That's a classic Paul quote.
That is a classic me quote. All right. Moving along. Do you think AMD will do an enthusiast version of Zen FX processors? This is from I'm a Ramblin' Wreck GT.
Yes.
I certainly hope so.
Yes.
If they really want to come back with Zen, and they really want to be like, we're back, we're now competing with Intel again in the processor space, and all that stuff, which they may or may not want to do. Like a lot of people were speculating that they were just gonna kind of leave that high end space to Intel. If they really want to come back as a big competitor, then I think they need to.
Right.
And I really think they hope to, because it would be really nice to have some competition for Intel on the high end. I mean, think of it. If AMD had let's say a $500 processor that could come within 80 to 90% performance of, say, a 5960X.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just, obviously, this is random speculation, but it would be a really compelling option to be like, yeah, you could get the fastest of the fast from Intel.
Right.
Or you could save some money and get most of that performance with AMD. That was the case for quite a while, but AMD's CPU architecture has just has aged.
Yeah.
It's gotten so old now that it's much harder to recommend AMD for anyone who's doing anything that's actually CPU intensive. But
Right.
I really hope they do. Yeah.
Me too. Competition is always good. Let's see. Will you guys be doing Pit My PC, or did I miss it? Yeah, we didn't do a Pit My PC for today because we had a bunch of other good stuff to do, and we've been doing Pit My PC consistently for the last few weeks. So we gave it a break this time around, but guarantee I will be doing it again next week, most likely. Guarantee most likely.
NG
Totally
Alex
fits together.
asks, have either of you seen Star Wars The Force Awakens? I have.
Shut up! I haven't seen it.
Cal has not.
I haven't seen it. Nah!
Cal's going to cover his ears so I can tell you guys all the spoilers.
No!
All right, here's what happens.
No! Fuck you.
First, it
Shut
starts with rolling text. It's yellow, and it scrolls up against the starfield.
See, you're already ruining it for me. Because that's like something I was like, are they going to do the scrolling text thing again? No, I'm just kidding. I haven't thought of it.
Okay.
But
I figured you weren't.
I've
being
had
serious,
so
but
much shit spoiled for me in the past, like from Walking Dead to Game of Thrones to like pretty much any big series that I watch has been spoiled for me either through social media or friends.
I saw The Force Awakens.
You know it's horrible.
I saw The Force Awakens on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
That's what I've heard.
And I fortunately didn't catch any
I'm
spoilers.
looking at chat.
I was really trying to just anytime I
Fuck you,
saw
chat.
Force Awakens anywhere, I would avert my eyes and not really read it.
Right.
I didn't catch too much like on Twitter feed and stuff. I didn't see too many people trying to be jerks and
I think
post
most of the
stuff,
people
whatever.
we follow, like we know, aren't going to
Yeah.
be complete
So that's
dicks.
cool. But really, I mean, really super happy with it. JJ,
That's
great work.
awesome.
Um,
That's so good to hear.
The thing, like I saw a GIF posted earlier today on Twitter, which was just a actual footage of them doing green screen or blue screen capture from the original or episode 1 or episode 2. And it was like a bunch of Jedis with like that blue, the blue background with little dots on it.
Yeah.
And they were all just like out in a field, like swinging random lightsabers, but none of them were fighting anyone because all the people they were fighting were going to be digitally put in later as like the robots that they're killing and stuff. And it was just like this silly looking thing with all these people dressed up as Jedis having like air fights against nothing.
Right.
And it was like basically this is everything that was wrong with the original, with episode 1, 2, and 3. And I was like, yeah, I could kind of see that. I really liked a lot of the stuff that JJ did with using real animatronics and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was just so fantastic. I mean, there's so many throwbacks to the original trilogy 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
That you can tell, it's just a level of appreciation and stuff for it that I thought was really appropriate. And,
That's cool.
Yeah, good story, very well paced. I mean, it's really it's long. It's well over 2 hours, but
I heard it's like constant action. Like it doesn't really let up.
It moves very quickly. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, well, this felt very fast. But then I was thinking, well, if you go back to the original Star Wars, I mean, it moved pretty quick. Luke goes from being a farm boy to going to Mos Eisley to suddenly being up and let's go to Alderaan, and then suddenly he's on the Death Star.
Right.
Yeah, and
True.
then the next scene is them like let's
really
blow up the
fuck
Death
around.
Star. Yeah, it's very fast, but I mean that's also why, it's engaging. It holds your attention, all that stuff. Okay.
That's true.
Oh, the fireplace.
I gotta go see it. Oh yeah.
Thank
At least
you.
it didn't start playing like
Thank you, chat.
you know, freaking Everybody Loves Raymond or something.
Yeah.
All right. What other questions do we have here? We'll take a couple more before we end the stream for tonight, guys. Oh, everyone's talking about Star Wars. I really want to see it.
Here's a good one from Stan Eustace Smith. What's the best game of the year that you have enjoyed playing?
Game of the year, GTA 5.
GTA 5?
Hands down, I was looking so forward to that game, and it did not disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those games where like it meets every expectation and then some.
I still feel weird because I also felt like GTA 5 was like my game of 2013.
Because it took so long for them to launch it.
Because I played through the game on Xbox 360 when it first launched.
Right.
Thinking like, I'm going to play through this, and then in a few months when it comes out on
That's
PC,
true.
I'm going to play it on PC again.
You had a different experience with it.
So it was a little weird. But yeah, I mean, the PC version was amazing, so at least it was worth the wait. And I would say, I have to agree with Kyle, GTA is definitely the game I played the most and had the most fun with. StarCraft 2, the Legacy of the Void, I've barely played like 4 or 5 missions there, but it's been the time when I've actually been like, I'm going to sit down and play video games, and I'm not even going to stream it. I'm sorry guys, I didn't even stream it. I was just like, I'm just going to sit and enjoy playing a video game.
Yeah,
Fuck all. I really like the StarCraft, it's really, really well put together. I play it on normal, and it's like, I don't feel like I have to try really hard.
Yeah.
I'm like playing and I'm enjoying myself and I'm not feeling like super
stressed
I gotta
out.
do everything all the time. So and I can get through the missions and stuff.
Super
so yeah,
competitive.
had a lot of fun with that.
Rocket League's also been pretty fun too.
I'll
give Rocket League some credit. You know, Rocket League just surpassed 50 million in revenue recently. So good on them. Like an little indie game like that. It's nice to see them getting some nice appraisal or appreciation and stuff like that. But what's your favorite aftermarket GTX 980 Ti, which isn't overpriced like the Kingpin? Honestly, I'll admit I haven't worked with like all the 980 Ti's.
Yeah.
That are available, but the ones that I have worked with, out of let's see, what did I have? I had a PNY. I had the reference, of course, and the Zotac. And the Zotac one, honestly, was really nice.
Is that the Zotac one there? Is that a...
No, that's the 390X. That's Power Color.
Oh, okay.
But the Zotac one, even though I'm not a huge fan of the cooler, it is super quiet, and it's super cool, and those are the 2 main things I look for.
Nice.
Quiet and cool. It's a good overclocker.
I didn't spend too much time with it, but the G1 Gaming 980 Ti from Gigabyte, the black and silver one, is really quiet.
I like that
overclocks
cooler.
really well. I just recently did a video on the
water-cooled
the
Gigabyte.
Extreme Gaming water-cooled Gigabyte one, and whereas I felt like they kind of missed the mark on the look of the card and the LED implementations that they did, the card's performance itself was really good.
Yeah.
And it's $720, so it is significantly less expensive than the EVGA binned ones. And it overclocked really well. I got it to 1525, and I probably could have pushed it further.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a good one for performance. But I also know that the Asus Strix does a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you already mentioned you don't want the EVGA. I mean, EVGA they bin them. They do ASIC testing, and the really high performance ones are the ones that can achieve their frequencies with lower voltage.
Right.
They just charge more for, and I don't know. That would also be a good sword fight, I think.
Yeah.
Is that something? Is that legit? Like, should they be able to do that, or should they just sell all of their? I don't know.
They should be able to do that.
They should.
Well, we'll save it for another conversation.
But they do charge $1,050 for their highest end.
I know,
Ti.
but I mean, if people are willing to pay it, then as a company, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. And they probably wouldn't be pricing it at that if people weren't buying it.
Exactly.
That's one thing I always thought was fascinating when I worked at Newegg, and I would encounter these ridiculously expensive products like $500, $600, $700 cases.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And granted, not all of them are successful, but most of the time, if it's an established company that kind of knows what they're doing, and you see an expensive product like that, it means there's enough of a market for it to be worth their while usually.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for this half of the show. I think we've rambled on long enough. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Are we doing Johnson's?
Yes, let's do some Johnsons. So I've got a couple that weren't done during this show, but were done very recently. And a huge shout out to Claude Johnson, my brother, for picking up a Stay Positive Tri-Blend shirt. Thank you all. As well as Sheila. Sheila, you picked up a CPU Cooler shirt and a Stay Positive shirt. Damn. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for picking up 2 shirts. Awesome. So thank you both for supporting the channel. That all the proceeds go back into the channel. Like if I need to review a product but I can't get it from the vendor directly, I'll just buy it myself. And I think Paul probably does the same thing once in a while. No, you never do. But all this shit really helps both of us. So thank you guys for supporting.
Buy stuff from
and you
time
get an
to
awesome
time.
shirt. In the meantime.
I don't know how far back I should go here, so I'm going to say Johnson's to Aaron, Jennifer, Katie, Ricky, Michael, Joyelle, and Ryan, and April. I'm just going down the list of, let's say, this is all within the past, I don't know, however many days.
Nice.
So thank you, all of you guys. Really appreciate your support. Hope you guys enjoy the merchandise.
Yes.
And that it's warm and comfortable.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We are going to try to get this YouTube thing figured out, so hopefully you guys who prefer YouTube, watching us on YouTube, can actually do that live while we go live. So, yeah, stay tuned for that, and be sure to like this video on YouTube if you're watching the rebroadcast. It helps us a lot, and have a good night. I'll let you know again on Twitter if I'm going to be streaming, and we'll see you soon.
I just love when you're trying to end something and you're like, I feel like I just keep talking and talking.
I'm the worst. I'm like the Rambler King.
I hate it.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Merry